I would like to thank everyone today for joining me as we honor the loss of what could have been a timeless cult classic that was taken from us before its time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not watching this video, Tenmaku Cinema has just released its final chapter. And despite all of the joy and laughter this series has given us, now we feel nothing but pain and sorrow for its untimely conclusion. And I'd like to take the time here to go over the series and what made it so good and what eventually led to its untimely demise. To begin, I'd like to talk about the series. The story was written by Yūto Tsukuda and the drawings were illustrated by Shun Saeki, two people who were famous for the previous work of Food Wars, which was a successful manga in Weekly Jump. This series had the potential to show that they can write two masterpieces back to back. Unfortunately, that had not occurred. The story itself followed Shinichi Hajime, a middle schooler, whom during his youth was sickly and bedridden to the point where he could not leave his hospital room. So he would spend most of his time just watching movies. And because of that, he found a deep love for cinematography. He loved watching and rating movies, so much so that he drew the attention of a talented yet unknown writer whom wanted to use the boy to write his grand masterpiece that he never had the chance to turn into a movie. The director that he wanted to make the movie had passed away long ago, but instead the ghost named Tenmaku Takehiko. Fortunately, he found inspiration elsewhere in Himeki Katakui, Shinichi's classmate who also happens to be a famous movie star. Once he saw her, he got the inspiration to write a whole movie revolving around her as the main actress. After possessing Shinichi and writing the script and taking it to her, she read the script and instantly fell in love with her character. So she goes out of her way to play this role despite her agency not being willing to allow her to take on any small films. So Himeki, Shinji, and the filmmaking club that he is a part of all go around secretly making this independent film. And through it, they grow closer, gain more confidence, and teach us all the difficulties of producing an independent film, especially one produced by middle schoolers without a budget. We learned so many things about how to make a small-time independent film, from using your own phone as the camera, to using a janitor cart to help film moving scenes, and even working around each other's difficult schedules. All in all, the story was enjoyable, comedic, and well thought out and paced, which despite all of these positives, you must be wondering, why has it gotten cancelled? There was a clear-cut reason. Unfortunately, despite all of these positives, Tenmaku Cinema was not a popular series in Weekly Jump. Slice of life like this tend to struggle to earn an audience. Although Tenmaku Cinema had received glowing reviews, it was consistently in the bottom half of Shonen Jump's weekly popularity poll. And to make matters worse, its first volume sales did horrendous. So despite the positive reviews, the amazing artwork, and the glorious storytelling, Tenmaku Cinema had an abrupt end, which is a massive shame. Because out of the 3 other mangas I covered alongside this one stood at the top for me, yet it was the first one to get canned. And to make matters worse, the second best story right behind this also seems like it's going to reach its conclusion in the next few weeks. It's truly a shame, but with one loss opens new opportunity. Hopefully the writer and artist use this as a learning experience and come out next time with a beautiful masterpiece that surprises everyone. This will definitely not be Yūto Tsukuda's and Shun Saeki's last work. They are both far too talented to let this go. They will definitely come back stronger than ever before. And hopefully they will produce a masterpiece just as good as Tenmaku Cinema. And some of the ways they can do that is by increasing the tension of the story. Tenmaku Cinema seemed a little too happy-go-lucky. They had a good idea by making a ghost possess a writer, adding a bit of occultism to the series, which they could have definitely expanded more on in future arcs. Unfortunately, they did not get the chance yet. So potentially adding more daring elements to the story in the first few chapters would increase the tension, thus drawing in more readers. Second, have the story focus on a broader audience. This one seemed to focus primarily on a small group of people who enjoy slice of life, as well as independent filmmaking. Personally, the independent filmmaking was not a minus, it was a positive for me, especially with other series that have like one-dimensional storylines like Akane Banashi, which focuses on Rogoku, Martial Arts Master Asumi, which focuses on MMA fighting, and Beat in Motion, which focuses primarily on animation and a little bit on music, are all doing so well right now. And then there are other classics like Bakuman, which focuses solely on making manga, which had an amazing runtime. Proves that something as simple as focusing on independent filmmaking was not the issue here. And personally, I don't think it was the pacing as well. I think it was more of the lack of like romantic chemistry between the two protagonists, as well as the drama, which would have allowed audience to feel the intensity of the story. Small yet simple things like that would have allowed more people to enjoy this series and potentially pushed up volume sales, which would have allowed Tenmaku Cinema to last a little bit longer. So despite its shortcomings, it was still an amazing story. So Tsukada and Saeki have something to work with. It's not like this story was a massive failure. It received so many positive reviews that they had to have been doing something right. They just need to find some way to keep this amazing story and somehow next time push sales. Figure out a way to draw in an audience that would be willing to spend money on this series. Personally, I would have loved to buy the first volume if it had come out in America around the same time, but I don't think it's available yet. And since it's canceled, I don't know if it is going to be available anytime soon. But if it ever does become available, I will definitely be buying it. Although as of this moment, I highly doubt it will ever come to America. So sad. Anyways, what I was trying to get at is, this series was amazing. No doubt about that, despite it having low sales and a lack of popularity. No one who read this series thought it was bad. Maybe it lacked some entertainment value, but it was still good enough for people to praise it. There were so few flaws in this series. I'm just hoping this sudden cancellation doesn't cause Tsukada and Saeki to doubt themselves, because they really shouldn't. This series was way too good to end this early. I know I've been saying that a lot because it's true. There should have been no reason this series didn't sell well. There are no flaws. It's just people didn't vibe with it, which I guess could be a flaw, but that's not a flaw that's easily fixed. So personally, I think it was just luck. It was just poor luck that caused this series not to sell well. But due to Shonen Jump's revolving door policy, poor sales means you have to get out and make room for a new series to come in. And that's always been true. So that does not mean these two are done writing. They're for sure gonna come back with a much better series. And hopefully, their luck turns out better this time. And with that, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I really hope this video encourages you to check out the series if you haven't already. It's really well written, really well drawn. Amazing characters, amazing story. There should have been no reason it was canceled. So please check it out if you haven't. I guarantee you will enjoy this series. It's a simple story, yes, nothing too grand, too adventurous, but the writers did such a good job of portraying Tenmaku, Shinichi, and Himiko. I'm sure the other characters would have been more properly developed if they had the time to, but the three main characters were the focus of the first two volumes, and they all got their chance to shine. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and remember to keep having fun. See ya!